All right, go ahead, Jaycie.
Okay, so like Coach Goebel was saying, my name is Jaycie Brown, and I graduated from here in 2017 and went on to go to Southwestern Oklahoma State University, which I would say was the best decision for me. I was able to really get involved there. I am currently still a member of our. Oh, do you want one of these? Okay. I'm currently working in our admissions and recruitment office, so that's kind of how I got all of these fun little things to hand out to you with all this great information. I'm still a member of our cheerleading team up at SWOSU. I've been a part of our Student Government Association there since my freshman year. Work directly with a lot of our student athletes through some different organizations as well. But I've just really enjoyed my time there. I'm a political science major. The plan currently is to still go to law school. That's a work in progress as we speak. I'm trying to get all my applications and things done. That is why I chose to do the student government stuff last year. That makes any sense. But just here to kind of talk to you guys about some of the great things about SWOSU. So one of the reasons that I chose SWOSU was because of the cost. So SWOSU's cost for the degree and the opportunities that you're getting is phenomenal. About 85% of our student body, I would say, is on some type of scholarship, whether that's academic or talent-based. There's scholarships for just about any and everything. And then, yes, so for a four-year university, I would just say that their cost is phenomenal. I also love the size of SWOSU. So my largest class at SWOSU was about 45 students, and that would be my biology class. And then when we went into a lab, it would break down closer into 15. So that way I was still able to get that direct help with my professors. So I really love that and was really able to take advantage of that so that you are able to get those grades that you are really striving for and going after. Another reason why I like SWOSU is the location. So yes, Weatherford is not some big glamorous city, but it's close enough to everything that you'd ever need to go do. So we still have all of the food things that you would ever need. We have every coffee shop that you could ever want. There'll be a Starbucks there by the time you guys get there, so that will be exciting. And then we're only about 45 minutes from Yukon, so if we're ever needing a Chick-fil-A or anything like that, we'll just hop in our cars and make a little road trip. But Weatherford was ranked the #1 safest city in Oklahoma. So it is a plus. You never have to worry about going to Walmart late at night by yourself or anything like that. Very safe town. I loved it. I can honestly say, guys, I didn't ever live in the dorms, but SWOSU has renovated about 3 of their dorms just while I've been on their campus. So that is a work in progress. We have co-ed dorms and we have all female and all male dorms. So it's really just whatever you're comfortable with. So I'm going to go ahead and start just kind of breaking down what the book talks about. Does anybody have any questions so far in general? Okay, I'll keep talking then. So we'll just start flipping through. Like I said, this will kind of break down all of the different things that our campus has to offer. So one of these first things that it touches on, which I also have a little info sheet about this as well, is our President's Leadership class. If anyone is interested, yeah, you can pass those out too. So the President's Leadership class is also something that I was able to take part in at our university. I think it is one of the things that made my passion and love for SWOSU reach its highest capacity. So it's a leadership program on our campus where you're able to get a $2,000 scholarship your freshman and your sophomore year. And it really just promotes you to get involved in all of the different leadership things that we have at SWOSU. You'll be in a class with different leaders from all over the state of Oklahoma. And we even had some people in my class that were from Texas. It's not limited to Oklahoma, but that is kind of where it ends up leaning towards. The best part of the PLC program for me, though, was that we get a paid trip to Washington, D.C. Following our sophomore year. And the president of our university is actually the tour guide for that trip. So he'll he's literally a book of knowledge. He actually teaches one of our history classes on campus just because he wants to be as involved with the student life as possible. So he would be our tour guide on that trip. And but if you guys have any specific questions about the PLC program, please let me know. Below that page is the honors program. I don't have a lot of information on the honors program. I wasn't really involved in that, but it's based on your ACT score, and it's just kind of like taking honors classes at in high school, but it's an upper level in college. So it'll just be the smaller class size, more direct help with your professors, looks good on your transcripts and resumes, things like that. So there's that. And then next page just kind of gives some more fun facts about what makes SWOSU great. And then we go into the mill and tuition breakdown. I think that's really all that is really in the book. Oh, on the eligibility, this is probably the most important part of the book, is our eligibility and kind of what is the criteria for getting into SWOSU. So our application is online for free. There is no essays, nothing. It is literally just you fill in your demographics and information, and you'll literally be done. No charge, nothing. It would take you about 10 minutes probably at max to do. You'll just fill in like your name, address, like I said, no essays, get your transcripts over, all that good stuff. And the way that our admission process works is you only have to have one of the following. So you can either have the minimum ACT score, rank in the upper 50% of your class and have the 2.7, or just have that 2.7 bottom line. So really, a pretty easy process to come be a SWOSU Bulldog, so I would for sure take advantage of that. Because like I said, there's not too many applications where one, it's free, and two, you don't have to answer any type of essays. So a very easy process, and then once you get in, the longest it would take would be about a month to get your results back, or to get your admissions acceptance back. And then if it's taking a little bit longer than usual, you can either give our Office of Admissions and Recruitment a call or the registrar's office, just to make sure that they've received all of your documents of like your transcript and your ACT scores. And then on that page after eligibility is just kind of the different majors and programs that we have. So I always tell people, if you don't have any idea of what you want to do, you're undecided, you still have time to figure it out. That first semester of college, I know many people that go in undecided. And also one of the benefits that we have on our campus is we have a career services department who is specifically in charge of our undecided majors to kind of help walk them through, okay, so you are interested in working with kids, or you're interested in working around numbers or anything like that. And she'll kind of point you on a direction of what you sound like you're interested in. So there's that. And then, like I said, we have a bunch of different scholarships that we'll offer all of our students. Majority of our student body is on some type of scholarship. And then some of the next features in the booklet is just talking about our different clubs and organizations. So we do have over 90 organizations on our campus, and it has continued to grow and evolve. We do have some sorority and Greek life as well, and you're unfortunately not having to pay quite as much as you are at those bigger schools, but you're still getting to experience all of the fun things that come with that. But if you don't see a club or organization that you feel like is something that you wanted to be a part of, we actually have a very easy process to get that on our campus, because our administration really encourages trying to get new things that students would be involved in. So if you have a cat club that you're wanting to start up but you don't see one, there's surely someone else on campus that would also want to be a cat club. So there's that. And then our university also does a really good job of supporting those. So like, you're not having to pour in all of your money. We actually have a process called allocations, where a week of school, our administration sits down and tallies up all of our money to our organization so that they have a little bit of a foundation to get started on, whether they're able to do fundraising or not. But I think that pretty much sums up the information in the book. I would love for you guys to try and come visit our campus. Yes, it does look a little bit different with COVID and how we're handling things like that, but we are still able to give you a really great campus walk around, show you our student union, which has most of our meal setups where you would come and get like your lunch, breakfast, or even just come hang out. We have our wellness center, which is kind of like our public workout facility. So it'll have the rock climbing wall, the cardio equipment, all of your free weights and weight machines, all of that fun stuff. And then, unfortunately, we're unable to go into the dorms right now, but we do have virtual tours of all of that set up on our website and on our social media pages if you guys would be interested in that. And then the most important part about an on-campus visit is that you actually would get to meet with the department that you're interested in. So let's say it's my senior year of high school and I'm thinking that I really want to be a teacher one day. So we would set you up with someone in the education department and they would walk you through the specifics of what that would look like, what your class load would look like, if they think it's realistic for you to have a job, or what would be some good jobs for me to have on my resume when I'm trying to work towards that profession. So they're really able to just be there for you and support you and give you as much help and advice through that process as possible. Another important thing coming up is SWOSU Saturday, which is actually tomorrow. So that's one of the great things about me getting to come today is that I get to talk to you guys about SWOSU Saturday. So that is our campus preview day. So usually what that looks like is we'll give everybody free games to one of our football games. You'll get a free meal, a campus walk around, and then it will just kind of give you kind of the same type of talk, but obviously from one of my bosses. And they'll just break down what it would look like to come to SWOSU. So what this year it looks like is we're actually going to have it online all via Zoom. So on our website, actually, you'll be able to pull up, but we'll have the various departments coming. So we'll have like biology doing a presentation, kinesiology, social sciences, engineering, technology, education, pharmacy, parks and rec, psychology, art communication, theater, and then we'll also have some of the like financial aid. So going through and talking about FAFSA and student loans and just how you'll be able to get your payments planned out for attending a university. Res Life will also be doing a spill, so that would be when they would go down and talk about all of the different dorm halls that we'll have available. And then we'll also have presentations from like allied health, math, computer science, music, nursing, chemistry and physics, language and literature, business. And then I know that sounds like a lot, but the way that we have it set up is that you would get to specifically choose what you want to do. So you could listen to the admissions talk at 9 and then not hop back on until 11:15 to listen to the nursing spill. You're more than welcome to sit through as many of those presentations as you would like. But we kind of set it up like that so you could just pick and choose which ones you wanted to go, because that is more how it would be like if you were coming actually on our campus. I know I just gave a lot of information, but I'd love to hear if you guys have any questions or have any of you guys started applying to? Awesome. Do you know where you'd like to attend? Awesome. That's super exciting. Also, I know I talked about like the location of Weatherford. I also loved that it was only like an hour and 20 for me to be able to come home. So like some of those first weeks of school, I would get super stressed out and I would just want to come and get a home cooked meal. I was so far away that my parents were not trying to come up there every single day, but I was still close enough that it was easy for me to come home for dinner one night and still be able to come back that evening. Or if they wanted to come up one weekend and come to one of our sporting events or something like that, it's like the perfect distance, which I was very thankful and appreciative of. But that's awesome that you've already started that process. Does anybody have any questions specific about Weatherford classes, degree plans that they might be interested in? Yes.
This is a weird question, but do you know if the music program is SWOSU really good?
Yes, it is actually phenomenal. So we have the straight music departments that would go into like instrument specific. And then we also have a music therapy department, which is, there's not very many universities in Oklahoma that actually have a music therapy program. So it would be something to talk about. Are you wanting to do like an instrument specific or?
Yeah, probably instrument specific.
Yeah, so we we have great programs for that, and then they'll also let you try out. So if you did come and do like the on-campus visit, you could meet with the music department and then try out to actually be in like the band or the orchestra or anything like that on your campus visit, if that would be something you're interested in as well. That would be kind of how you get the scholarships in the music department as well.
Yeah.
So that answers your question. Okay, perfect. Does anybody have anything else?
How has life been different for you this year with COVID?
So it has looked a little different being a senior on campus and not really getting to do all of those lasts that I really looked forward to, cheering on our football teams, all that fun stuff. It's been pretty difficult in that aspect, but our administration and faculty have been incredible with how they've still been able to let us have campus events, campus organizations still meeting, all of that great stuff. Weatherford has been one of the universities that's actually been able to keep their numbers pretty low. So we've been able to stay on campus all year. So all of my classes are still meeting in person. Yes, that is partly because none of my classes exceed more than like 25 people because I am in my like upper level courses and my major specific courses. But even like some of our cheer girls that are in those 40 person classes, the way that they're handling it is so like Mondays, half of your class would meet and the other half would be on Zoom. Wednesday, the class that was Zooming would be in person in the class. Does that make sense? So like they're reversing who gets to be in person. And then on Fridays, it's all Zoom. But then if you still don't feel comfortable meeting in person, our professors always have the Zoom option for every single class. All of them are required to have the Zoom option. And if you have been exposed or you feel any type of symptoms, there is no penalty at all held against you, which is also great because a lot of the professors at SWOSU do hold attendance as part of your grade just because college kids won't show up to class sometimes because you have that freedom. You're usually going to sleep in if you can. But they have been phenomenal about working with us on attendance and things. And like, I was also really impressed that at the beginning of the school year, they were still able to do a lot of their like freshman welcome to campus events. They were all outside. And they were like, they did kind of split up how they did that too. Like if your last name began with this or your first name began with this, they would kind of split it up like that. But I mean, they were still able to do like a drive-in movie night. We were still able to do like our campus organization fair where you get all your free t-shirts, your free food. It was just a little different how we did it, but they were still able to make it happen and make sure that we still had stuff to look forward to this semester. Like this Sunday night, we're getting to do our finals breakfast. Even though we're not having finals until December 9th, we're not coming back to campus after Thanksgiving. So the president and our administration was like, this is a tradition that we've done every year that I've been at SWOSU. So we still want to have a finals pancake breakfast. It's just gonna be in a to-go option and there's still gonna be great giveaways, but it's still something for us to look forward to. So there's that. Does anybody else have any questions or anything? As of right now, the good news is we do have a plan for us to start playing sports in the spring. So like our football games, our basketball games, our volleyball games, there is a tentative plan set in place for us to be able to do all of that stuff. I know that you guys, are y'all playing Tuttle tonight? Is that what I saw?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's very fortunate that you guys have still been able to do all of that and having a great season. So love it, take advantage of it. But next fall, I think it will be a lot better at the university level. So
Explain to them how you balance your time, social life, work, school,
Yes.
how you balance it.
So one thing that I would tell you as advice is to learn how to say no. Once you get to that level where like you don't have to ask your parents for permission or like it's literally just you getting to decide, you could do stuff 24/7 once you get up there. Like you could be up at 8 a.m. after class and then go to Jerry's at 3 a.m. because we do have a place in Weatherford that's open 24/7. Great breakfast place, kind of like an IHOP, but it's a chain for Weatherford. But you just have to learn how to say no and prioritize your time. A lot of the jobs also on our campus are very great about working with your schedule. So like I got to come do this today and I just had to ask and be like, hey, this is what's going on. Do you think it would be okay if I took off work and came and did this? And they'll support you through that. Finals week is also another time to have a job on campus because if you have a final scheduled on that day, they'll either not make you work at all or you'll work like morning or afternoon. which is phenomenal. And then you really just have to choose like what is important to you at that time. My freshman year, I literally got involved in every single thing that you could imagine on a college campus. And then you slowly start to realize like this is the thing that like I want to prioritize, and this is the thing that is going to be the most important in the long run. So I'm going to prioritize student government over this little club that didn't mean anything to me. Just things like that. But like I said, the best thing about SWOSU is that all of those organizations still want you to be involved. So you can do as much as possible as long as you're communicating with that. And that's one of the great things about the Zoom option, which I think that we'll continue to use just because it has been handy, is that you could Zoom while you're at work, or you could Zoom if you had to go home and help your family do something. Or it's just the technology has also helped be able to do multiple things at one time as well. That kind of includes that. There's a lot of other great jobs in Weatherford as well, besides like not working on campus. I just always promote the on-campus jobs as like your first job to get when you're a student, because you just want to make sure that you're able to like balance your schoolwork and balance the social aspect, which I think like first semester I didn't work at all. I just wanted to get used to kind of my classes and things like that, being involved in some organizations. And then second semester I was able to find a job that I really liked. And now I'm also have a job working at a hotel in Weatherford that is still able to work with my crazy schedule and work with my other job. So they're very understanding. Weatherford loves being a college town. That is how they get their revenue. So like our businesses will give us a lot of discounts for being a student at SWOSU. A lot of the time they'll even just ask if you're a SWOSU student, and if you're like an education major, they'd love to hire you at the daycare. If you're like an accounting major, they'll love to hire you at like a bank or something around town. So it can usually be at volleyball as well.
Good networking.
Yes, good networking for sure.
Go ahead and explain your experience with the professors and like what they should be prepared for from high school or college level.
Yes, so with the small class size, it is very, very easy to make those personal relationships with your professors at SWOSU. And I would say to take advantage of that. So our professors are fabulous about like meeting with us when we need help. They all have office hours all the time. And if you're unable to meet during their office hours, they'll either let you just call them, they'll let you Zoom with them, all of that great stuff. And one of the things that I love about Weatherford too is that like I will see my professors out at Walmart or out at dinner. So it is that small town feel that I personally really enjoy and really like. Yeah, so they're really great about that. And if you are not understanding the material, they are more than happy to work with you. So like my geology class, my sophomore year, could not get the rocks to save my life. Could not just couldn't memorize a rock to save my life. I was like, this looks the same as this thing. And so I had to spend like an hour at our professor's office hours, and he just laid out every single rock for me, and we walked through the specifics. And I ended up making the grade that I was wanting in that class because he was willing to work with me. I was willing to carve out that time. And it was literally just an hour of that extra work that we were both able to find and make work. And even if you don't necessarily get like I did, if I wouldn't have gotten the rocks any better, you would have at least seen that I was putting in the effort. So that also is just beneficial to your grade and in the long run. Because there's a lot of times once you get into your department, so I'm a communications minor, and I probably had the same professor for about 3 of my classes. So like once you set that foundation of being a hard worker, a good student, I'm showing up to your class, they'll remember that for the rest of your classes, and usually you will be rewarded. So.
Very true.
Yes, which is just how it is in high school, but at college, it can be harder to make up some things if you're not careful. But is there any other questions? Yeah, on the back of those blue cards, it lists like more of the majors specifically. One of the things to note too is that SWOSU is actually adding like an EA sports arena on our campus. So we'll have like a few different gaming teams and like gaming opportunities, which is something that not a lot of universities have, which will be really exciting to see how that all works out.
Or they'll have like sporting competitions.
Yeah, like they'll have like tournaments and all that fun stuff, which will be really exciting. So it's just like another.
There you go, like games.
Yeah, it will be fun. I don't know who's, I think it's gonna be a professor that like coaches the team, and I think they're gonna try to even play against like different schools and universities.
I know SWOSU is huge too. Don't you guys have like your own like lake and outdoor area?
Yes, so we do have a lake that's about 15 minutes outside of town that all of our students have free access to. So it has like the zip line, it has like paddle boats and kayaks that we can check out and use. It has just some different like rock climbing walls out there as well. You can even camp out there. They say it's like a $5 fee for students, but I've never heard of them actually making someone pay that. But all free of charge, all very fun to do. And then even if you don't want to like go out and kayak, it has a nice like walking trail as well. So just another thing to do on our campus. Another thing that the book kind of touches on is that throughout the school year, we'll have different like guests and entertainers and performers that will come on campus for a very discounted rate. So like the year before last year, we had like Parker McCollum, Stoney LaRue, we've had Ben Rector come, we had Nicholas Sparks come and do like a speaking engagement, which was also really cool. Just a few different people I can think of. Sometimes we have comedians that will come on. This year we had talked about getting either a step crew, like a dance crew, or a magician for like the fall, but I think we're gonna do music both now and spring. So
Oh my step.
yeah, just doing step performance. I'm trying to think.
Beat for me.
Yes, but if any of you guys are interested in the SWOSU Saturday, I would highly, highly recommend going because it will be a lot of great information that I didn't touch on or I might have missed out on, and it will be major specific as well.
So all they have to do, because I shared the link with you on your stream last week, all they have to do is click on that link and register for it.
Yes, we would prefer that you register, but like if you wake up tomorrow and you're like, oh man, I would really like to watch those Zooms and you didn't sign up, we will not care if you show up. The more the merrier. Yes, the more the merrier would be great. And then the second thing I would leave you with is please try and come and visit our campus if you have time. I think, don't you guys give out like a free wave if they come?
Yeah, they get 3 days to go to any college tour.
So I would highly recommend doing that as well. A lot of great information. And even if you didn't necessarily want to do like the admissions talk or you didn't want to have a tour of the campus, at least go meet with those majors. So like specifically like pharmacy, we have one of the top pharmacy programs in the nation. She is incredible at her job and she does like what I said, you break down. Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, she is phenomenal at like just helping the students, making sure that they're prepared. So that way when you come in day one, your freshman year, you know, this is what I have to do to be able to achieve that goal of being a pharmacist and finishing at SWOSU. And the way our pharmacy program is set up is I think you finish it in 5 years. And that last year is like your residency and you're like out in the real world being pretty much pharmacist. You just don't have your like degree yet. But it's 2 years of on campus and then 1 year in the world getting practice in.
So what's your post plan? What law schools are you looking at? Because I have a few here who are looking to get post degrees as well.
Yes, so I'm planning on staying in Oklahoma. Like I said about being close to family, I would really like to stay close to family if at all possible. So I'm applying to like OCU, Tulsa, OU, and then I have also considered Dallas, which I know isn't in Oklahoma, but I have always thought and dreamed about living in Dallas. And so for those post-grad people, we also have professors that have literally dedicated time outside of the classroom to help us with that process. So I've been working with our pre-law advisor. She gives me like contact information for all of the like deans of schools. She sets up Zoom meetings for all of them, finds us like fee waivers because applying to law school can also be expensive. She'll work to find us fee waivers and things like that. We also do have a master's program at SWOSU, so if you were wanting to get your master's, we do have that option. But if you did want to go somewhere else, like to a school that has a master's that we don't offer, the business department works with you hand in hand. All of the departments will just sit down with you and help you with that application process and things. And one of the good things about SWOSU, which is still an option on mine, is staying at SWOSU and then working at a resident. So that would look like getting your master's paid for and then having a job on campus working. SWOSU isn't the only place that does that, I'll be honest. But so like if you were to get an on-campus job, say like your freshman or sophomore year, and then you just kept it until your senior year, and you're like, hey, I'm really interested in staying, getting my master's, do you think there's any GA position? It would just kind of be like a foot in the door to get you started on that next step, which would be phenomenal. So there's that.
You guys have any other questions? Pretty awesome presentation.
So I know it's a lot of information, so if you guys think of any questions or anything, either have Coach Goble text them up to me. Like I said, would love to have as many of you guys come on campus as possible. I really enjoyed my time at SWOSU. I looked at some other universities pre my decision to go to SWOSU, and then once I actually got on campus and like realized, okay, this is the perfect side. I don't have to rent a bike to be able to make it to my classes on time. I'm not gonna have to park 5 years away. I'm not gonna have to be $100,000 in debt, $50,000 in debt, whatever that may look like for you. So just really ponder your decisions and really spend some thought on what that next level looks like for you. Oh, question.
What is the application to law school look like, the whole process?
Not a fun one. So I've had to so the process looks like taking my LSAT, getting all of my transcripts together, getting a personal statement together. Some of the universities do require resumes, some of them don't. I have my resume made up just because it's easier to have one made than not.
We'll do ours next week.
Yeah, there you go. And then each university also has their own application that I have to go in and fill out all of my information for. And then I had to get pay for a database system that all of my letters of recommendation, all of my transcripts go to, all of my LSAT scores go to, because it has to be verified. Like I couldn't upload my professor's letter of recommendation. It has to be sent directly to that website. So I had to get that system, and then I have to pay for each application for the universities. So that's kind of the step that I'm at now. Most of the universities that I'm applying for, they don't do any type of interview process. So once I get all of the paperwork and stuff submitted, that will pretty much be how I make the decision. So there's that. Like I said, that's in the works right now. SWOSU is going to be really, really hard for me to leave. So I haven't just completely married myself to the idea of leaving yet. I just want to make sure that my options are all open. So that's why I'm going to finish my law school process and all my law school application stuff, but also keep my options open if there is like a GA position at SWOSU or there is something at SWOSU I'd like. So, does anyone else have anything?
What last minute advice would you give them as they're seniors, and you remember 4 years ago, sitting in these chairs, right? And then being ready to go to the next phase of their life. What would you tell them to do?
I would say one thing that I should have taken more advantage of my senior year with all of the time that I still had was apply for scholarships. Whether your college is paid for, like you have a full ride to your university. If you get more like scholarships from the community, from like the city, wherever you get a scholarship from, that is money in your pocket. Like the school won't just keep that money from you. Like you will have that money to live on, to buy your books, to buy your food. So just keep applying for scholarships until like the last minute, because there are scholarships that my mom would send me and I'd be like, nah, I don't really want to do that. And that was just like another $500 that I could have had in my pocket. So that would be time that I could maybe not have to work, I could be doing fun stuff. So that would be the most important thing is the scholarships. When you get to college, please, please, please take advantage of everything that your university has to offer. Whether you do decide to come to SWOSU, I would love that. Whether you decide to go somewhere else, take advantage of all of the things. Whether it's organizations, whether it's the things going on in the dorms, whether it's all of the free food opportunities, take advantage of it, because that is how you're going to meet people. You're not going to meet people just cooped up in your dorm watching TV, playing video games. You're going to meet people going to those campus events that you're like, I don't really want to go to that. I might not know anybody. That is when you could meet your best friend. Or that could be someone, that could even be a time that you meet your roommate for like your house after you get outside the dorms. That could be when you meet someone that's going to help you on your project your sophomore year that you're like, no one in the class. You met that person at your freshman year event. You guys have stayed in contact. You follow each other on Instagram. and you guys can just reach out to each other. The more people you know on campus, the smaller it makes it feel, and the easier it is to get through the 4 years that college, the rough times that college can bring. So I will say that.
Good advice. One of our speakers, same thing. Scholarships and just branch out and meet people, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's in the same boat. We're in the same boat.
Literally.
Any last minute question you want to ask? No? All right. Go ahead, thank Jaycie for coming.
Done, please, and thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.